Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott. You are in the Prog Corner. Today, boys and girls, we're going to be looking at the top 25 albums dropped in 2022 that were not prog albums. Yeah, and as I run through these, you're going to realize that a lot of these are very progressive albums. Yeah, I kind of keep the prog list to pure prog, and that way my non-prog list has got lots of proggy goodness on it. So I am absolutely cheating. A lot of these bands I'm talking about probably should be on my prog list, but I want to talk about as many bands as I possibly can. So yeah, I'll do everything I can to make sure that both my prog and my non-prog list have plenty of progressive acts on it. At number 25, it's the Mars Volta, boys and girls. Yeah, this is their return to form. It's been 10 years since Nocturnicate came out, and they took some cues from that, but this is a more soothing album. This is a more straightforward album. This is the Mars Volta being commercial, trying to sound more like Radiohead than Radiohead. I really do like the album. You know, it's getting a bad rap that it's a Latin kind of thing, and I think that was primarily because that Black Light Shine single came out and it was like 12 minutes and 90% of it was bomba stuff, dancing and bongos and stuff. Thankfully on the album it's only 3 minutes long. It's actually a really good album. At number 24, the Icelandic queen Björk put out her 10th album this year. It's called Fossora. It's Latin for digging or someone who digs, and her inspiration for this album was mushrooms. Digging in the dirt, getting dirty, and getting all psychedelic. This is actually one of her better albums. I really did like Sugar Cubes. I liked her first couple records, but then she kind of got all weird on us. There's a couple great songs on here. The first song, Adipose, fantastic. There's a song on here called Allow that was supposed to be on her Utopia album. That's really good. This is a really dense album. It hits pretty hard, and I actually do like it. At number 23, a band I've never once talked about. It's Soccer Mommy. Oh, I love Soccer Mommy. This is Sophie Allison, born in Zurich. She's now based in Nashville, and this is her third album, and this is really cool because she has enlisted the services of Daniel Lopatin from 1-0 Tricks Point Never, who I really do enjoy his music. So the two get together, come out with this terrific album, Sometimes Forever. Yeah, Soccer Mommy's ready to blow up big time. They've already shared the stage with the likes of Wilco and Liz Phair, but they've got a 2023 tour planned with the Vampire Weekend. Expect big things out of Soccer Mommy. At number 22, coming out of Baltimore, Maryland, it's the dream pop duo Beach House and their 8th album, Once Twice Melody. This is their first double album. It's a solid record. If you don't know who these people are, it's a Victoria Legrand and Alex Scally. Victoria kind of sounds like Nico from Velvet Underground sometimes, but this band has got a whole big sonic range. They're more than just dream pop. They write great songs. Beach House, I love them. At number 21, it's Titus and Andronicus, one of the greatest bands out of New Jersey. Yeah, everybody knows this band primarily from their second album, The Monitor, which came out in 2010, which was a rock opera about the Civil War. Since then, I've kind of lost touch with them. They came out with a really long album, The Most Lamentable Tragedy, and they followed that up a couple years later with a really short album produced by Bob Mould. That was an Obelisk. And they come back with this one here, The Will to Live. It's a really great album. Patrick Stickles and band sound great. This is the kind of record Titus and Andronicus needed to make, I think, to get people back into their music. But they're really great. Number 20, for Boise, Idaho, it's Built to Spill and their brand new album, When the Wind Forgets Your Name. Doug Marsh has a whole new band that he recorded this album with. Apparently, there was a Brazilian jazz combo called Arua that he used to record this record with. None of them are in the band anymore, so they were real short-lived. But the artifact that we have for that short-lived band is right here, and it's great. It's a very mature version of Built to Spill. You're not going to get the long workout. It's like perfect from now on. You're not going to get the perfect songwriting, like Keep It Like a Secret, but you get close. You get really close on this. The last couple Built to Spill albums are slightly disappointing. This one's really cool, and it's got a great album cover. At times, this record kind of reminds me of Dinosaur Jr., but it's Built to Spill through and through. Welcome back. I love them. At number 19, it's Midlake from Denton, Texas. Yeah, they're not the best ever death metal band out of Denton, but they're a really cool psych folk, whatever you want to call them. They put out 2 great albums with Tim Smith, Van Occupanther in 2006 being the best of them. Then he quit the band. They did... Well, The Courage of Others was also with Tim Smith, but they've done 2 albums now without him. Eric Polito, who was the guitar player, is now the lead singer. They did Antiphon in 2013. So 9 years later, we get this, and it's called For the Sake of Bethel Woods, which I guess is a reference to Woodstock. It's a good album. I really missed Midlake. What a great band. They've kind of taken away the Fleetwood Mac-isms and the pentangle. You know, every album, it seems like they have a whole new thing going on. This is a good record from them and a worthy addition to a great discography. At number 18, we're going to the UK and Yard Act's debut album, The Overload. This Leeds 4-piece, you know, does that sing talking stuff. You know, a lot of the verses are just dude talking about stuff, and then the chorus comes in. They actually kind of have a semblance of a melody in there. There's some great songs on here. These guys are angsty, they're jittery, they got that herky-jerky thing going on. Yeah, it's kind of post-punk, I guess, but songs like Payday and Rich and the title track, just fantastic. They're very political, very socially conscious. It's a lot of fun. It's a great record. At number 17, a band that I was kind of doubting I'd ever see on my top lists again. It's Animal Collective and their brand new album, Time Skiffs. This is actually their 11th album overall, and it is a return to the 4-piece Animal Collective lineup after Deacon took the last album off. So you've got all 4 of them, Avatar, Panda Bear, Geologist, and Deacon, and that's when Animal Collective are at their absolute best. These guys are progressive through and through. They've never cut any steps along the way. They don't take shortcuts. You know, it's very psychedelic, but there's so much going on in this music. It's a good record, man. It kind of, sort of reminds me of Brian Eno's Another Green World. And if you can mention that album in the same sentence as your album, then you're doing pretty good. At number 16, it's another return, and it's Tears for Fears and The Tipping Point. This is, of course, Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith. This is the second album with Kurt Smith back in the fold. They did an album in 2004, something about happy endings. That was a pretty good record. This one's actually better. It covers more territory. It goes all the way from these real lush, synth-driven, gorgeous soundscapes to gritty Americana kind of stuff, and everything in between. It's really cool. I'm a big fan of Tears for Fears. Just love them. It's good to have them back. At number 15, it's Lucifer on the Sofa from Spoon. Yeah, this is these guys' 10th album, believe it or not. Their first album came out all the way back in 1996, Telefono, and it sounded a whole lot like Pixies. Somewhere along the way, they kind of found their own style, their own sound. Yeah, they went off the cliff a little bit. That last album that came out in 2017, Hot Thoughts, was absolutely terrible. I don't want Spoon with disco beats. I really don't. So this is back to more traditional sounding Spoon. And I really appreciate Jim Eno and Britt Daniel. Both of them just fantastic on this record. It's really, really solid. At number 14, we're going to John Darnielle and the Mountain Goats, their brand new album, Bleed Out. Man, I love John Darnielle. This is a guy who can take just about any subject matter and turn it into just a really cool record. He did an album called Goths, which was all about, you know, those goth kids back in the 80s and 90s. He did an album called Beat the Champ, which was all about, you know, professional wrestlers and their backstories. He did an album called In League with Dragons, which is about the Dungeons and Dragons scene. And now we have this one called Bleed Out, which is about action films. And it's just amazing. It is so great hearing John Darnielle, you know, trying to talk about these action hero movie stars, and it's just a fun record. I really enjoy it a lot. He's such a great lyricist. At number 13, we're going to Ireland and Fontaines DC and their third album, Skinty Fia. I have no idea what that means. I know skint means broke, but Skinty Fia, you tell me what that means. I have no idea. These guys are similar to Yard Act and some of the other bands we're going to talk about here, in that they utilize a lot of that talk singing kind of stuff. But this is a guitar rock band. They harken back to the 90s. Sometimes I hear like Jesus and the Mary Chain or the Stone Roses in their music, but it's really great. Their music is weightless. It kind of floats out there, and it's just a fun listen. Skinty Fia, great record. Check it out. At number 12, one I'm almost embarrassed to have on the list is Ghost's fifth album, Impera. Yeah, you know, these guys are led by the great Tobias Forge, who had been like all anonymous and nobody knew who he was. And he's got all his little minions, which I guess he calls the nameless ghouls. Well, on this fifth album, they kind of put the Satanism and the devil worshiping stuff on the back burner and just focused on some really good, hard-driving rock and roll. This is melodic metal. This is hook-filled metal. This is pop rock at its finest. Maybe some of you people miss some of the more, dark subject matters that this band normally brings to the fore, but I don't. Just give me strong hooks, and this album's got them in spades. At number 11, we're talking about Muse, Will of the People. This is the band's ninth album. Matt Bellamy, Dominic Howard, and Chris Wolstenholme. I could never say that guy's name. Yeah, this is almost like a return to form after the last couple records. Didn't really ring my bell that hard. Second Law was good. Drones was okay. Simulation Theory, those are good records, but this is kind of like, I guess they kind of built this thing as a greatest hits album. The label was actually after them to do a greatest hits album. So instead of doing that, they just recorded an album with songs that kind of harken back to some of their greatest hits. But it's a good album, and I really do enjoy it. Now we're into the top 10. At number 10, it's Boston's own Pixies with Doggerel. Yeah, I did do an album review of this about a month ago. Check it out if you're interested. This is the fourth reunion album since Pixies came back after Kim Deal left the band. And this is a very mature version of Pixies. There's nothing on here that's going to make you, want to throw away your copies of Doolittle or Bossa Nova. But it's a solid record. I really do like Pixies, and I love this album. It's actually produced by Tom Dalgety, who is best known for producing some records by Ghost. We just talked about them. At number 9, here's another band that probably could have made the prog list, but, I didn't put it on there. I put it on here. It's the Deer Hunter and Antimai. This is Casey Crescenzo's band. He's kind of taking a break from the Acts series, which originally was supposed to be 6. We're up to part 5 now, Act 5. Hopefully we'll get an Act 6, but Casey likes to take these little detours every now and then. He did the Color Spectrum. He did that album Migrant, which was a standalone album. But I'm actually hoping that he stays in this universe for a little while, because this is a really cool change of pace for him. In fact, they do have another album planned for 2023 called Sunya, so I'm really excited about that. I love the Deer Hunter. Very prog. At number 8, it's Cab For Cutie and their brand new album, Asphalt Meadows, the band's 10th album. Ben Gibbard is in fine form here after a couple of less than great albums. Yeah, this is the second album without Chris Walla. So Ben's got some new members of the band, and he's writing some really good songs here. This is not going to make anybody forget about Transatlanticism or Plans or any of their better records, but this is a good record. Welcome back, Ben Gibbard, to the land of the living. At number 7, a band that put out 5 albums in 2022. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. It's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Again, they could be on the prog list, but I took them off of it so that I could have more prog bands on the prog list. You know what I'm doing here. It's pretty obvious. But I'm picking changes of the 5, the latest. Made in Timeland came out first, and then Omnium Gatherum, and then Ice, Death, Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms, and Lava, and then Laminated Denim. It's just insane. And then Changes was their 5th album of 2022. A very concise record of concise songs, except for that first track, which runs about 10 minutes. This is a very well thought out and considered album from King Gizzard, where a lot of their records are just jammy freak out sessions. This is song driven, and if you don't know King Gizzard, this would be an excellent record to start out with because it gives you a flavor of what they're all about without getting too crazy. There's no microtonal stuff on this one, so it's a real easy listen. At number 6, it's And You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead and their 11th album called Bleed Here Now. Oh, this is a fantastic record. You got Conrad Keeley and Jason Reese, the two masterminds behind Trail of Dead. And they, after all these years, put out what is very likely their best album. Are they prog? Why are they here and not on the prog list? They're on Inside Out, so that should give you a clue that they're pretty proggy. But, they're not capital P prog, so I moved them over here. Why not? Again, I did a review of this album earlier. Go back in my video catalog, check it out, because I'm not going to put a link there. I want you to watch this video, not that one. At number 5, we're not going too far away, just about an hour down the road to Dayton, Ohio, and Guided by Voices, who have dropped 3 albums this year. They put out Crystal Nuns Cathedral, and then they just put out Scalping the Guru, which was kind of just a bunch of old songs they, resequenced. But the one in between those two is the one we're talking about here, Tremblers and Goggles by Rank. The best album they've done since 2017. I think it's the best since Space Gun. The early track is front-loaded like a Lizard on a Red Brick Wall opens it up, and then it goes to Alex Bell, even though, obviously we're talking about Big Star there. It doesn't sound much like Big Star. And then you got Unproductive Funk, which is just an amazing track. Roosevelt's Marching Band. Focus on the Flock might be the best song here. And the album closes out with a 6.5-minute epic called Who Wants to Go Hunting? That goes through a lot of changes. It's Robert Pollard at his absolute best. It's only 10 songs. It's only like 35 minutes long. It's outstanding. At number 4, we're going to Duluth, Minnesota, and Cloud Cult and their 11th album, Metamorphosis. Craig Minowa and his wife Connie have been doing this Cloud Cult thing for a while. They're all about the earth and environmental stuff, and everything in their studio is made from recycled materials, and the vinyl that they use to press is from recycled materials, and they use geothermal energy in the studio, and all the profits from the records go to environmental causes. You get the idea who these guys are. They even had a biodiesel van with solar panels on the roof that they tour in. I feel sorry for them. It's a losing cause, my friend, but I love the spirit. I love the energy. And after a couple of kind of down records for the Cloud Cult, Metamorphosis is fantastic. I just love it. Welcome back, Craig Minowa and Cloud Cult. Fantastic. And number 3, it's The Smile and a Light for Attracting Attention. This is that Radiohead spin-off group. You've got Johnny Greenwood and Tom York. They are joined by Tom Skinner from the band called the Sons of Kemet. And I don't know why they didn't use Ed, because he drums just like him. He sounds exactly like him. And these songs sound exactly like songs that could have been on King of Limbs or, any of their other records, in Rainbow, probably. I really like The Smile. I think this is a great album. I think it's the best Radiohead album probably since Kid A. Okay? It's that good. It's really, really good. It's even produced by Nigel Godrich, so it totally sounds like Radiohead. It's on XL, just like Radiohead. Yeah, it's a Radiohead record, and, Everything But Name at number 2. This band topped my list last year for best non-prog album. It's Black Country New Road, and their second album, Ants from Up There. Yeah, like 4 days before this album dropped, the lead singer quit. Isaac Wood said, I'm done. What a shame. This is another band that absolutely could have been on my prog list. I have them here. I got Black Midi on my prog list. That's where my line is drawn. I am so curious to see what this band does without Isaac Wood. He is such a huge part of the band. but they've got all kinds of instrumental prowess, with the klezmer stuff and the slint stuff. Sometimes they sound like The Fall. Stephen Wright is even mentioned as a influence for this band, but you can definitely tell that the band was listening to Arcade Fire before writing these songs, because it's just one more influence that was not there on their debut album. Every bit as good as the debut album, and it would have been number one for 2022 were it not for this one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, my number one album of 2022 is Wet Leg. These two young women from the Isle of Wight. You've got Ryan Teasdale and Hester Chambers. What an amazing record this is. I don't even know how to describe it. If Veruca Salt were good, they might sound a little bit like this. They're going on tour with Harry Styles next year, so, seems to me like Wet Leg is probably going to blow up super huge, and why not? That first album, this debut album, is just incredible. It starts out with the best 1, 2, 3 start of any album this year. Just so good. Come for Chaise Lounge, which was the big hit. Stick around for the other 9 songs, because all 10 songs, I think there's 12 songs on here. It's a typical 12-song album, runs like 37 minutes, and every song is great. Angelica, Your Mom. I just love everything on here. Being in Love. Fabulous, fabulous. My number one album of the year. And honestly, it's not really even close. It's that good, boys and girls. Anyway, that was my top 25 non-prog albums for 2022. Tomorrow, we are doing our People's Choice Awards, Viewers' Choice Awards, where your voice will be heard. I've been paying attention to all the comments, and we're going to talk about what you guys thought were the best records, the best songs, etc. of 2022. It'll be a good episode. Hopefully it'll be a great one, but we'll just have to see, because I have no idea. Anyway, I love you guys. Peace in the Middle East. God save the King. And Sarah Ferguson too. Why not?